93.9 FM. Keep it locked.
Good morning, my neighbor. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? Good morning, my neighbor. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? My neighbor, my neighbor, my neighbor, my neighbor.
Well, maybe we should ask the people at the Glass House, the Nigerian Football Federation, if they are feeling okay. I mean, having two national teams losing over the weekend, the Nigeria's under-20 national team losing the quarterfinal of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup for the Waffle B. The under-20 female national team lost to Ghana on penalties. Do we say good morning? What side will the NFF presidents will be waking up this morning, and some of the coaches as well, and even some of the players? But we are good. We're good this morning. My name is Oladapo Kulubi. Welcome to Kickoff Sports Show. I'm awesome. You're awesome, right? Okay. Well, for some teams that also lost over the weekend, I mean, let's talk about Lionel Messi ending his stay at PSG, same as Sergio Ramos, but the last game for them of the season ended in a loss. Shout out to Manchester United fans this morning. Well, we look at NBA, we look at tennis, we look at Formula One this morning, talk football, most especially transfer stories. You're welcome to the show. Okay, remember you can watch us live from anywhere across the globe. Jump on our Facebook fan page, Solutions 939 FM, YouTube channel, Solutions 939 FM. Download our app to listen from anywhere across the globe, wherever you are. Go straight to Google Play Store. Your Android or iOS, Time Solutions 939 FM on Google Play Store. Download the app to listen on the go. You can as well go straight to Radio Garden, search for Solutions 939 FM, and you can listen. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. In case you're just listening for the first time, this is Kickoff Sports Show, the first half of the update. Okay, now let's start with NBA this morning, where it went into the game 2, and it ended 1-1. In the NBA Finals between Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat. The Heat turned on what they've got in the game 2 after losing the game 1 against the Nuggets.
For the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets, game 2 of the NBA Finals. Capacity crowd, and they are loud once again. And the Heat knocked down their first 2 shots to start it off. Vincent, one of the rare Heat players who shot well the other night, knocks down his first 2, and it's quickly 7-0 Miami. Jokic enables the crowd to sit, although they'll chill a bit first before they do so. Strus, 2 for 2 to start. And Miami comes out firing away. Here comes Murray racing up the floor. Caldwell Pope, a 3-pointer. Jokic, gorgeous pass from Gordon. That's what Gordon did in the first quarter of game 1. Adebayo, soft touch is good. Jokic, plenty of time, sets, fires, and hits. Butler finds Strus. Again, no hesitation. Strus another. 2 clutch free throws there from Bam Adebayo. To Jokic. Vincent all over him. Jokic, layup shot, rolls around and drops through. Back up top, Butler. Butler, a 3-pointer. Off the side of the rim, Brown the rebound. 4 seconds, Murray, step back, 3-pointer. Won't go. Fight for the rebound, Martin, and it's over. The Miami Heat have tied the NBA Finals.
Okay, so that's what happened. That was what happened in the wee hours of today. 111 to 108 for Miami Heat. Well, now they've sent the game into 1-1, moving into the game 3 of the NBA Finals, going down on Wednesday. Well, strict Thursday. Nigerian time, but for Jimmy Butler, he believes that nobody even gave the team a chance going into this game. Nobody has given them that chance. Remember what happened to them in their series final, right? I mean, in their conference final. But here is Jimmy Butler speaking ahead of game 3 after game 2 win.
I just think nobody cares on our team. We're not worried about what anybody thinks. We're so focused in on what we do well and who we are as a group that at the end of the day, that's what we fall back on. Make or miss shots, we're going to be who we are because we're not worried about anybody else. It's how it's been all year long, and that's not going to change. So that's what I think it is. I think it's the I don't give a damn factor. Some ball pressure, getting back, getting our hands on loose balls, and just challenging every pass, every shot. I mean, he's a hell of a player. He passes the ball so incredibly well. Obviously, he can score the ball like he did tonight. But when we get the opportunity to turn the ball over and get out into the open floor, I feel as though we have to do that. And we did a decent job of that tonight.
A decent job, you can call that. But let's wait for Game 3, Game 4. And maybe if the game goes to Game 5. Well, let's move away from the NBA this morning. And let's go straight to what happened in Spain over the weekend. It was the Spanish Grand Prix.
And Formula One is racing for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's going to be even. Immediately into the slipstream. Verstappen is holding the inside line. How brave is Carlos Sainz feeling? He's going wheel to wheel. Dare he go around the outside into turn 1? He's run out of road. Hamilton is up to P3. Could get better. Contact. Lando Norris loses a bit of his front wing. George Russell was off the road in the background. Carlos Sainz got close. He did not get by. Hamilton up to P3. And then Sainz in second. Wheel to wheel goes the Aston Martin. Stroll trying to go around the outside. Disaster for Lando Norris.
Yeah, not a good getaway for him, but also not good for Sainz. They've gone all in with that softer tyre and it hasn't worked.
Round the final corner for the final time, the Dutch driver will see the checkered flag first, and it's win number 40 in Formula One for Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen wins the Spanish Grand Prix to win 3 in a row, lead every lap and dominate proceedings. Lewis Hamilton comes round the final corner for his 11th podium finish at this circuit, and again it's a happy hunting ground for him. P2 on the road, a little punch of the air, and that will be completed with a superb performance for Mercedes. That upgrade working well today. Russell climbs 9 places to the podium positions.
Well controlled, Max. Another win.
Yeah, good race that. Again.
Okay, so what happened over the weekend? You got that. No station does it better. Well, that's also happened at the Spanish Grand Prix. Max Verstappen of Red Bulls finishing first on the podium. Lewis Hamilton second of Mercedes. George Russell of Mercedes finishing third. Well, up next is to the Canadian Grand Prix going down on 16th of June to 18th of June. Okay, now moving away from that, and let's also look at updates from the world of tennis this morning. But before doing that, let's look at some stories surrounding Formula One this morning. Check the time right now. It is 8:08. Charles Leclerc says Ferrari are doing something wrong after a torrid weekend saw him finish outside a point at the Spanish Grand Prix. The Monegasque made a shock early exit from the qualifying on Saturday as he could only manage 19th before making overnight changes to his car that resulted in a pit lane start. That's why Ferrari, having found nothing to be mechanically wrong with his SF23. Now let's talk about Lewis Hamilton. He finished second. Lewis Hamilton will hold talks with Toto Wolff today over his future at Mercedes. Hamilton's current contract expires at the end of this year, and there was speculations he could leave Mercedes for Ferrari in 2024, meaning next year. However, both parties denied the reports last month, and Hamilton will negotiate a new deal with team principal Wolff. Well, anything can happen. Nobody's loyal here. It is more of you winning and staying back and enjoying the situation there. If Karim Benzema could leave Real Madrid, Thierry Henry could leave Arsenal, Van Persie could leave Arsenal, even Cesc Fabregas. So if Hamilton is saying goodbye at the end of the season, come on. All these ideas are surely welcome, right? But let's go straight and talk tennis this morning. But remember, guys, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/solutions939FM, facebook.com/solutions939FM. Talking tennis, Alina Svitolina will take on Alina Rybakina in the French Open quarterfinal after continuing her brilliant return to Grand Slam tennis by beating Daria Kasatkina. Svitolina will be the second Ukrainian opponent faced by Belarusian Sabalenka, who recovered from losing 5-love lead in the first set to beat Sloane Stephens 7-6, 6-4 in the first night session women's match. And Novak Djokovic with Carlo Alcaraz continued the march towards a probable semi-final meeting with identical 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 victories. Djokovic over Juan Pablo Varillas and Alcaraz against Lorenzo Musetti. Now let's look at fixtures of games going down today in the men's singles of the French Open. 11:30 today we see Francisco Cerundolo battle Olga Nutskud Rune, as Nicholas Jarry will take on Casper Ruud. By 3 o'clock, Thomas Echeverry will battle Yoshito Nishioka, as Alexander Zverev will take on Giga Dimitrov. In the WTA category today, 10 o'clock this morning, Ons Jabbar will be up against Bernard Pera, as Sara Saribe Toma will be up against Bedret Haddad Maia. Anna Carolina will take on Corey Goff by 1:30, as Igor Swiatek will also battle Lisa Tritsenko. We move away from that this morning as we move to the other side where we talk football. Remember, Kickoff Sports Show is still live on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM in case you're listening for the first time.
All about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Well, remember, for the NPFL Super 6 going down in Lagos, we're seeing the results, and for Bendel Insurance, it look like a team that is good to go because they are yet to lose a game this season. And they are even as the Super 6 also kicked off over the weekend. Well, let's also wait to see what also pans out. Let's look at what surely happened. What surely happened in the game 2 or match day 2 in the Super 6, if things will surely change. Okay, well, for Lobby Stars, we'll take an aim by Rivers United against Remo Stars, and Bendel Insurance will battle Sunshine Stars. With the way things are right now, if it is going to be more of Bendel Insurance, well, remember, Sunshine Stars lost a game in the game 1. Maybe Bendel Insurance will know how to pile up that pressure on Sunshine Stars to pick 3 points. But maybe Sunshine Stars can also break the jinx. Well, my Remo Stars against Rivers United. They are common foes for Lobby Stars Zeyimba. We'll wait to see what happens at the end of the day. All right, now moving away from that and let's look at... let's go on a break, and when we return, we talk about the national teams on the show this morning. For the teams, from the teams that went to Ghana for the Wafu B to the team that lost in Argentina. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. It's still Kick Off Sports Show, live on your Remedy Radio Dial Solutions 939 FM.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge, just use Momo. You wan pay for market where you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account or inside your Momo account to make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
Saleko is a jungle. Everyone does what they must to survive.
Gangs of Lagos don't land for Prime Video and na the #1 film, so make una go watch am. E get better stars like Toby Bakri, Adesua Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo and more. Plus the gege action wey dem do for the film. Chai! Na for only Prime Video you fit watch Gangs of Lagos, and dem go first give you 7 days free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, check back to Prime Video.
Hello, sir. Do you mind if I interview you quickly?
No. I don't get
Just
time.
a quick one, sir. If you get 1 million naira right now, what would you...
You said? First of all, hey, I go share this my phone. After that, I will come buy red bars, you understand? Then I'll come work well. Come block my landlord main office, see my status. God declare for the boys there. Levels all land with that.
Take off on a millionaire level and do as you like with the FCMB Millionaire Promo Season 9 by increasing your savings account balance by 10,000 naira and keeping it for 30 days in your FCMB account. And if you're a new customer, deposit 10,000 naira into your account and keep it for 30 days. And you could be one of the winners of $1 million naira and other amazing cash rewards. Approved by NLRC and FCCPC. FCMB, my bank and I.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with small candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumal food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, mommy. Even the Sumal wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow! Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hills. My help comes from the Lord. Experience God's mighty power, working miracles, transforming lives and destinies through His anointed servant, Prophet Taiwojo, at 72 Hours with God from Friday 9th to Sunday 11th of June. Theme, Help from Above. Join us with your loved ones to receive the help you need from God. Every struggle and sorrow shall be terminated by God's supernatural presence and power at Mercy Camp Osengiri Ibadan from Friday 9th to Sunday 11th of June. Ministering Prophet Taiwojo and other anointed ministers of God. Music ministrations by Bukola Akinade Shewele Jesu, Bisi Alawiye Aluko, Elijah Akintude Olorun Sobe, Benga Adenuga, Bridget Adenubi, Atinuke Eri Majemo, and many others. Please note, we shall be rounding off early Monday morning. For more information, please call 0902-011-3558. 72 Hours with God. Come, don't miss it.
Welcome back to Kick Off Sports Show on your Remedy Radio Dial Solutions 939 FM. Check the time right now. It is 8:19. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. Let's go straight and talk more football stories. This morning, where host Ghana won the maiden under-20 Wafu B tournament after defeating Nigeria's Falconet on penalty shootout in Saturday's final in Kumasi. The game was decided on penalties, which Ghana won 3-1 after regulation time and then 1-1. Now, talking about Nigeria's under-20 national team. The Flying Eagles as they lost in their game yesterday by a lone goal. And, well, the coach of the side, Ladan Boso, said, well, they tried, but saying that they tried wasn't enough. They lost 1-0 against South Korea. Uruguay defeated USA 2-0. Now, coming from the angle of the Ladan Boso, talking about the head coach, well, he has refused to blame the players after their outstar from the ongoing 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. Well, so South Korea will face Italy in the quarterfinal on Thursday. That's the updates coming from the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. I mean, if the host country is out, and okay, do we compare ourselves with the host country? Okay, so let's see some other updates concerning the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Well, for USA, they will also have themselves to blame. Talking about the loss they also had. Remember, also during this week, we have a lot of games going down, but let's also quickly let you know for the next round, Uruguay will take on Israel as Italy will take on South Korea. That is the semi-final appearance for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Moving away from the Under-20 World Cup, shall we? And let's talk club football stories this morning. Well, you can call him Prince of Napoli, or you call him the goal king in Italy. He's none other than Victor Osimhen. Well, Osimhen reached another milestone as Napoli concluded a Scudetto winning campaign with a 2-0 victory over Serie A bottom side Sampdoria. Osimhen sealed the capo Cornelieri with the second half penalty, taking his total tally for the Serie A campaign to 60 goals, while it was also his 50th overall in the competition. Substitute Giovanni Simeone's wonderful individual effort secured the victory as the Partenopei lifted the Serie A trophy at Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, where Luciano Spalletti was overseeing his final match in charge before taking a year-long sabbatical. Now, talking about taking a long year sabbatical, one man is leaving, and not even sabbatical, but is done with football. It's none other than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Well, he confirmed this on Sunday that he has decided to end his football career at the age of 41. The striker's AC Milan contract expires at the end of June, and he had already announced he would not be renewing his contract following an injury-plagued season. Well, let's talk about Juventus missing the chance to finish 6th in Serie A despite Federico Chiesa's strike-sealing 1-0 victory over Udinese at Bianca Arena. After Paulo Dybala's late penalty helped Roma to a 2-1 victory over Spezia, Massimiliano Allegri's side were unable to leapfrog the Giallorossi and was forced to settle for 7th. Okay, well, remember, Hellas Verona will face Spezia in the Serie A relegation playoff after losing 3-1 in 4th-placed AC Milan on Sunday, as Rafael Leao's double and an Olivier Giroud's penalty secured the point. Now, talking about Jose Mourinho, and Roma must take responsibility for their actions over the abuse of referee Anthony Taylor after the Europa League final. This is coming from Ref Support UK Chief Executive Martin Cassidy. Remember what happened at the Europa final as a loss? Jose Mourinho went to meet Anthony Taylor at a car park, and after that, the fans also raised a series of abuses on Anthony Taylor. Well, after that, the UEFA also slammed Jose Mourinho. Now let's go straight to England this morning. Before talking transfer stories, Manchester City have learned from past failures in Europe as they prepare to face Inter Milan in the Champions League. This is coming from Rodri. Well, remember, Manchester City edged Manchester United in the FA Cup final at the Wembley. So the doubles down, one more to go to have a treble. But can they? We don't know. Maybe or maybe not. All right, let's talk transfer stories this morning. As we have some players sent out of their clubs by mutual consent, some eyeing other clubs. Let's talk transfer. well, after winning the Scudetto, also the highest goal scorer of the season, well, for Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen has said Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis will decide his future at the club. There are different stories concerning Victor Osimhen. We got updates that the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich are already planning to bring him on board. But will he want to stay back? Or even if it's all about the money, will he want to leave because of money, or the club even allow him to leave? Now let's talk about a man who has left his club after the Spanish La Liga season. That is Karim Benzema. Carlo Ancelotti said he was surprised after Karim Benzema announced his departure from Real Madrid after 14 years. Reports had it that the 35-year-old has reached an agreement with reigning Saudi Pro League champions Al Ittihad, managed by former Wolves boss Nuno Espirito Santo, and will sign a 2-year deal. Now let's talk about Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain have opened talks with Julian Nagelsmann to replace Christophe Garcia as coach, with the former Bayern Munich manager expected to be in France tomorrow for talks. Remember, a lot of people have been talking about the managerial capability of Garcia. PSG's owner, Qatar Sports Investments, have already spoken to other potential replacements, including Luis Enrique and Thiago Motta. Both have told journalists that PSG have made Nagelsmann the top target, with German coach keen for Thierry Henry to join him as an assistant. Now, Everton are lining up a transfer bid for Weghorst, who joined Manchester United on loan in January from Burnley. And that's it, talking about transfer stories. But hey, let's also look at Chelsea's also in the news. Okay. And what we are getting is that Chelsea are unlikely to pursue Ogarte's deal. Wow. Pulisic could help bring Osimhen to London. Okay, well, Chelsea are unlikely to pursue a deal to sign Sporting Lisbon midfielder Manuel Ugarte. Last week, reports had it that the Blues had held talks about the possibility of 22-year-old who is thought to have a 60 million euros release clause moving to West London. We are also seeing updates about Kante on the verge of Saudi move. Now, Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante is on the verge of a move to Saudi Pro League side Al Ittihad. That Karim Benzema is moving too. And Victor Osimhen, as what we are saying here, has left the door open to a potential summer exit from Napoli amid transfer interest from the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United. But how will you be in a position with a club that will be playing UEFA Champions League next season, and you are going to a club that will be struggling to qualify for Champions League next season? Well, we'll have to wrap up the show this morning. Taufik Akim Banuso, thank you for joining us. Oluwatimileye Oluwadare, Adeboye Adeboje, Yusuf Oladimeji. Well, remember, guys, we move to the other side of the show this morning where we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers. My name is Radakpo Kunubi. Do not go anywhere. Good morning.
education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM. Keep it 93.9.
It's 8:32 on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Ade Damala Lafewa. We are set to take you on a journey through some of the national dailies this morning. And this morning I've got the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspapers with me.
All right, good morning, Nigerians. Well, good morning, Laffy.
Good morning, how are you doing?
All right, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I'll have with me the Punch and the Nation newspapers this morning. And well, remember yesterday there was a meeting that should be the second meeting between the organized labor, the federal government, and NNPCL. But Nigerian Labour Congress shunned that meeting.
Yes.
Okay. So, but we talk more about that this morning.
Okay.
If NLC decided to shun the meeting, that means the strike scheduled for Wednesday is.
Like there's
100.
no going back.
No going back. Okay. Well, let's look at some of the headlines this morning. Well, remember that when the time comes, we'll have opportunity to also give you the lines to also call into the studio. Let us have your take on some of the headlines and how the fuel pump price has, affected some of your people. I mean, well, for some people, they decided not to go to church yesterday. They did their services online. And for those of you that went to church yesterday,
some people.
Yes, some people.
Some people. We both understand those people.
so doing online services, maybe this will also change the orientation of Nigerians. Everything is not compulsorily to be by using fuel.
Definitely. I think Nigerians are resilient. We have a way of adapting to the situation.
Oh, maybe we have all adapted. That's another question. Have you adapted to the current situation? And even for the NLC shunning and, saying no going back on the strike on Wednesday. Are you also prepared to sit back at home? Because if you're saying that people should go on strike, that means in the next few hours, people will be rushing to the market to buy things, buy fuel that is 500, panic buying.
Yeah, again.
Okay. All right, let's go straight in some of the headlines this morning.
Okay. All right, starting from the Nigerian Tribune this morning, I'll take the cap headlines on the front page, and we have this one saying, bandits kill 30 in Sokoto communities. The story is on page 25. Trapped funds, Nigeria tops most indebted countries globally, owes foreign airlines $812.2 million. That story is on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Adeleke dissolves 7th Assembly to inaugurate 8th Assembly tomorrow. The story is on page 22. Now moving straight to the banner headline, and it says subsidy removal. TUC makes demands. FG may set up committee to review minimum wage. And quite a number of riders under that caption. I'll take them one after the other. NLC absent. TUC FG to meet again tomorrow. Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, Osun deny backing out of planned strike. Nance to take position tomorrow. Break NNPCL's monopoly on importation. Ipman tells Tinubu, and the last rider says market forces now to determine petrol pump price. NMDPRA. Moving away from that, I have this one saying Tinubu, opposition lawmakers meeting postponed. We have not been consulted. PDP. The story is on page 3. Why I sacked auxiliary as PMS boss. Makinde government constitutes new PMS ESCO. Reopens parks. Page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune has that story. And I have this one again saying Indigene should be next speaker of Lagos State, General Olanrewaju. The story is on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. These and many more stories were found on the pages of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Okay, going straight to the Punch newspaper this morning, punching down headlines from the cap. Senate queries Accountant General over 910 billion naira MDA's loan. Tracked funds, foreign airlines plan meeting with FG. PDP wants Tinubu to make asset declaration public. And going straight to the Bwana headline this morning, subsidy, NLC shuns FG meeting, electricity workers back strike. Riders to this headline, NLC faults negotiation team, Lagos, Nasarawa, more states chapters join strike. TUC demands salary increase. Few importers seek equal access to forex. Okay, so looking at this headline, okay, subsidy. NLC shuns FG meeting. Electricity workers back strike. When last did you have power in your house?
Well, this night.
Last
night.
Last night,
yeah. Around, I think they brought it around past 1.
For the past 48 hours plus, there's not been light in this area. That means since Friday.
Wow.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That is more than 48 hours, and they are also joining this strike. No.
And you can't even get the fuel now at an affordable.
If
price.
you want to power the gen, where do you get the fuel? I live in an environment where, you see people tackling each other with the sound of their generating sets, and everywhere was just silent on Saturday, silent on Sunday, till this morning. All right, let's look at more headlines this morning. OPEC raises Nigeria's output as Saudi Arabia cuts production. 18 die in Kano crash. FRSC boss warns against overloading. NDLEA seizes 390 kg illicit drugs in 4 states. This and more you can find in the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, I'm moving to the Vanguard newspaper this morning, and there is this banner headline. Subsidy, NLC shuns meeting with FG, TUC 6 pay rise. And still on subsidy, Sanwo-Olu begs NLC to shelve strike. Moving away from that, I have this one that says Kogi Guba poll, APC's Ododo picks primary school teacher as running mate. That's interesting. Okay, moving further, OPEC cuts Nigeria's oil output by 20.7% to 1.38 million barrels per day. Okay, I was trying to interpret the MB stroke slash D there. I think it's 1.38 million barrels per day. Okay, moving away from that, Senate indicts AGF over failure to recover 910 billion naira short-term loan to MDAs. Okay, and there is this there's this picture. The picture is also on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. We have in the same picture on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. It's about the meeting which was held by the federal government delegation, and I can see the Senator-elect Adams Oshiomhole. I can see the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. I can see Senator Omar Agege. I can see the Senate President as well. That is Ahmed Lawan at the meeting with the organized labor yesterday. Okay, I'm moving away from that.
All right, now let's go straight to the Nation newspaper this morning and looking at some headlines here. OPEC agrees on production cut to stabilize oil prices. And, why Nigeria Air cannot fly now? Kudirat Abiola remembered 27 years after. Subsidy. Federal government okays action on TUC demands. Okay, this is for TUC. So NLC can still say, okay, TUC did not carry NLC along. Okay. Because what I'm going to is, you look at what happened during the ASU strike. You know, when ASU went on strike, another union, came. I think there were two. Was it two or one?
I think it was one.
Chris Ngige, helped them and they got their papers.
Approval.
Approval. And at the end of the day, we don't know how where's that union body now, sir? Drama in Nigeria. Looking at our headlines here. This morning, hoodlums attack ex-Lagos Council chair. We are pressing ahead with planned strike, says NLC. Okay. Subsidy. Cabals would have frustrated Tinubu like Buhari if Kailani. You want to read more? Get a copy of the Nation newspaper this morning. The last headline here. Oyo appoint Omolewas, PMS Chairman. Okay. Maybe so according to that headline, they'll reopen the
the parks have been reopened as of this morning. As of this morning.
Okay. All right. So people can travel and things will be better in Oyo State. All right. So we'll move to the other side of the program this morning. Talking about the burning issue. Well, I was talking about the boycott of the Nigerian Labour Congress of yesterday's meeting. Yeah. And well, ahead of that meeting, Joe Ajaero, who happens to be the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, made it clear that NLC was not going to attend that meeting because they told the federal government to revert the price of the pump price to normal price and now begin negotiation. But here, let's listen to what Joe Ajaero said and the reason they decided
to boycott
the meeting. And if this will not be more fire than the problems Nigerians are facing.
I don't think we are making any progress so far because we are still at the same point. We have not gone beyond the point. That's where we are. The issue of alternative and subsidy are things we have discussed over the years, and our position were made clear. So, but government appears not to be interested in our position, and maybe they want to roll it over us. Of what use is today's meeting? By Tuesday night, I held a meeting with the TUC president, with Mr. President and his team. There and then, NNPC said they were going to bring out figures and prices. And on the spot, I told them, if you do that, we'll fight back. There's no basis for you to take that decision before discussion. And they went ahead and did that. We decided to boycott the meeting, but people still prevailed. And we attended the meeting and asked them to return to status quo to enable us discuss freely. And up to now, they have not done that. So what are we going there to do?
Joe Ajaero, NSA president, speaking yesterday ahead of the meeting that I held in Abuja.
But in one way, I believe that Joe Ajaero has a point there actually, because ever since the new pump price was declared last week, I mean, we all know, like you've said, now people cannot even afford to buy fuel to fill the generators, let alone filling the cars and everything. I mean, the impact is already being felt. People have to spend more, and I mean, I think Joe Ajaero feels that if the pump price is reverted, then it will create an enabling environment for them to
now negotiate. So if it is more about the negotiation and the pump price, Here is Dele Alake, who's the presidential spokesperson. Speaking after the meeting yesterday, talking about the outcome and what the TUC has brought forward. I also just hope. Okay, but let's listen to Dele Alake before my comments this morning, and we join our analysts.
Well, as you all know, we had this reconvened meeting today. As we promised you a few days ago, after we had the initial meeting with the labor movement, we said we were going to reconvene today to keep the engagement on in order to diffuse the tension in the land as a result of the withdrawal of subsidy, which is a reality. Now, we are very happy to announce to Nigerians that this engagement has been very productive. The TUC that attended today's meeting presented a list of demands, and those demands we have studied and we are going to present to Mr. President for his consideration. But those demands, we can announce to Nigerians that a lot of the items on the list are not impracticable. What we need to do is to study the numbers very well, and then we have asked the TUC to also give us a leeway to consult, very exhaustively, and come back on Tuesday, reconvene on Tuesday to actually look at the numbers, the viability, practicability of all the items that have been presented to us.
That was Dele Alake speaking there last night after the meeting, and talking about what TUC brought forward. And they always say that a house that is divided against each other cannot stand.
I was definitely going to say that, because if the organized laborers can be on the same page, I doubt if there will be any light at the end of the tunnel as regards their demands and agitations. Because now we have NLC backing off negotiation and TUC moving into the negotiation and going ahead with the negotiation. I believe the TUC and all the organized labor unions should be on the same page for this. For them to be able to drive home their demands appropriately.
Because I don't know. Okay, part of the what the labor also brought on ground was increasing the minimum wage. Now, if the minimum wage is increased, will that also make everybody go back to their work?
I think probably in one way or the other to at least ameliorate the sufferings of the people. That means you have more money to at least to cushion the effect of having to pay more on transportation, and even for those who have cars. I know so many people that have even abandoned their cars at home. I saw a lady this morning, and I was asking her, "Where's your car?" She was like, the last time I drove my car was last Thursday. The car is resting at home. I can always find my way, but filling the car. And this woman uses an SUV, and those vehicles consume a lot of fuel. So, I mean, there are so many people in that same shoes as we speak. So, even if say increasing the minimum wage, how many people are going to benefit from that? Is it not going to be only?
That is where I'm going to, because some states government have not even been able to
pay salaries,
the new minimum wage. So if some states could not, pay the current minimum wage, how would they pay the new minimum wage?
What about those working in private organizations?
So, I was telling Victory on Friday that this may also result to, people losing their jobs. Because instead of hiring 20 people to work, you may just say, okay, now let me hire 10 people so that I can pay the new minimum wage. This and more is what we're looking at this morning. Another thing is, hey, when last did you have lights in your area? Let me break it down. If the electricity workers could, join the ongoing, the proposed strike scheduled for Wednesday, don't you think Nigerians must also protest against the electricity workers? For over 48 hours, there's not been light.
You're even lucky. There are some that haven't had light in weeks.
So I heard of Ajibode area, that Ajibode, maybe they have light twice in a week. I don't know if that is what is happening in your area. And are you also prepared for the proposed strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress. Maybe the TUC will also back out of this if they were, if they could sit with the federal government, NNPCL, yesterday. So let's have your take this morning, 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Those are the lines to call this morning. Remember, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Solutions939FM. Facebook.com/Solutions939FM. Remember, we're also live on YouTube, Solutions939FM. I mean, looking at this, what has happened yesterday, I was also listening to former NLC president, who also happens to be a former Edo State Governor, Adams Oshiomhole, while he was speaking yesterday, and he was not even hitting the nail on the head. You were once a labor leader, and I also feel like
to wonder.
I also feel like he should have been the one even leading this negotiation.
But probably because he's on the government side now, he's now switching.
Switching
sides now. He has switched sides actually, so he has to be on the government team now. I saw the thing yesterday too. I mean, you were a labor leader for so many years, and you were so vibrant, fighting the cause of the labor unions then. But now you're in government, and well, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how this thing will turn out to be. Wednesday is like a few hours away from now, and another thing is, if NLC decides to go on strike, TUC is not going on that strike. So what effect will they have? Talking about a house divided against itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If a house is divided against itself, it cannot stand.
And Nigeria is not going to be put into more sufferings.
And don't you also think that the federal government is also happy with what is currently happening? You have a TUC in the meeting, NLC decided to back out of the meeting.
The best way to get your enemy or your opponent is to cause division in their team.
Which was also what happened.
That's one of the best ways to to tackle your opponent.
And maybe the federal government is also likely winning right now, but I also feel like this is just too early for the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. There should be a roundtable talk between all the parties, and according to what I also heard from Malake, is that there's going to be a tripartite committee set up, from the labor union to the federal government to the NNPCL, have to look at what TUC has brought on the table.
I was telling Mr. Ajishope maybe sometime last week that these things that the federal government is trying to do should have been done before making the pronouncement. I mean, you should have called a roundtable. Okay, if we are removing this, what will be the effect on this? What to be? Let's come together and see. And cushion before it's been involved, it just came in few minutes into being sworn in, and everything just went down. Now you're now calling people for negotiations. I mean, well,
on Friday we had a lot of reaction. I mean, how people, started coping with the increase in 4-pound price.
The truth is, Nigerians were not prepared. We were not prepared for it at all. We didn't see it coming that early.
And a man said that he was meant to be at work, but he was at home in his bed because of increase in transport fare. Okay, what of a situation where, there was an announcement.
It was even luckier. The man was luckier. Some of us that were at work and we got stranded because the transport fare had doubled before going home.
Yes,
I mean,
I raised that particular scenario as well. Like, what of those who went for night shift and had to stay back, and unfortunately after that pronouncement before leaving work, the transport fare doubled, and how what the situation will surely mean. Now I was also getting the update concerning the Polytechnic Ibadan. They're meant to start exams today, and now if there's going to be a strike coming up on Wednesday, that means there's going to be a disruption in the examination.
An academic calendar.
Yes, and that is one. Two, there's also an internal issue in the school. So if this is happening, that means it's affecting all sectors: education, security, health. Because if there's going to be strike, what of those who will be in the hospital? What of those who want to carry out surgery? What of those, a lot of things that will have to be put in, that will surely happen at that moment. Let's also try and recall what happened during the cash crunch period, where lives were lost, people lost jobs, properties, and even people working in banks, some of them lost their jobs because some banks were destroyed, some cars destroyed, properties destroyed, people were unable to pay for things. And okay, let me use myself as an example. I couldn't go to church on Sunday.
I was mentioning some.
Yes,
people
I just need to. I mean,
some people didn't go to church. I knew you were talking about yourself.
You want to order a ride, and they will tell you, "Oh, this is the amount." And if you're looking at spending 4,000 naira on a trip to and fro
within
Ibadan, so you look at what has happened to me as an example, and I know that will surely be to someone who's also listening right now. If people are not going to, if you're not going to needed places, necessary places, 0909-888-9939, 0912-222-2939, 0912-222-2939. We're finding it difficult to connect with our analysts this morning, but we keep trying, in getting in touch, with them this morning. So if people are currently in this situation, what happens next? Are we not going back to what happened a few months ago? And how do we avert this? Who brings NLC back to the negotiation table? Is it the TUC that goes back to meet NLC, or the federal government to meet NLC? And is this also not a situation of power? Who has the right to negotiate? It is meant to be like a team negotiation, not about only the trade union. Well, we'll also check some comments this morning coming concerning this headlines this morning. Why TUC? why the Nigerian Labour Congress decided to pull out of the negotiation, all because the federal government, the NNPC and the NNPCL had already, given out the price per liter, concerning the new pump price. We are pressing ahead with planned strike. How prepared are Nigerians concerning the strike? This and more, we look at the comment this morning after this time out.
is all about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
All right, welcome back. Oluwamotosho is with us this morning as we look at the current, I think it is now the double-faced crisis, maybe a battle between TUC and NLC. Maybe that may surely happen, and ahead of the Wednesday proposed strike. Top of the morning to you, Comrade Oluwamotosho.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All of you in the studio, and good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so I mean, myself and Damalala Fenwa have been discussing about what happened last night in the second meeting between the organized labor, federal government, and NPCL. NLC decided to pull out of that meeting. They boycotted the meeting, and TUC was there. They presented what they wanted. And federal government, came out to say that, they'll have to look at that and set up a committee. If TUC is not on the same page with NLC, do you think this battle will be won? Do you think the poor pump price will be dropped? And do you think Nigerians are even ready for this Wednesday strike?
Thank you. I think what we need to do at a time like this is for TUC, NLC to come together, form a united front to negotiate with government. Going on strike at this time will only be counterproductive. It's going to add more to the pain and to the stress that the citizens are already facing right now. Now, we've seen too many crises within a short period of time. The cash crunch did a great blow on the people, on all of us. And that is following immediately after the protracted strike of ASU that kept our youth out of school. I kept them at home, and you can see all the pain of that, and the resultant of effect of making those the youth, making those students idle, is still there. We're still battling with it. A lot of homes now have a lot of things to contend with because of that, and now we are talking about going on strike again. Just after coming out of the cash crunch problem, I don't think that's I don't think that's the way NLC should go. Yes, it is painful. We are going to feel. We are feeling the pain already, and it's just unimaginable when you look at the amount of money that people are using to buy fuel now. Now, if you are going out of that, you need to go to the filling station to buy 20 liters. To buy 50 liters of fuel now, you'll be spending 25,000 naira. So when you look at that, and this is a country where you have where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira, it's ridiculous. But even as that may be as bad as it is, I think what we need now is negotiation, sitting on the round table to discuss these issues. To be very, very honest, I don't think we need to do with. I don't think we need anything to do with subsidy. I think we should just do away with it. However painful it is now, I think we should just do away with it. NLC should look at it. Of course, there have been a lot of parleys that NLC has had before now. With we're talking about how to remove subsidy and then what's the cushion effect that government can put in place, palliative and all that. I think they can start from that. And I don't think we need a strike now. I don't think so. Government also should also be soft. Their policies and their approach must have human face. But I think we can resolve this peacefully without resorting to strike.
Okay, comrade, let's look at this from this angle. Okay, now the NLC boycotted the meeting with a condition that the only condition they will attend the meeting or any negotiation with the federal government is for the federal government to revert to the oil pump price. Now, will you say that you being a member of the labor, organized labor as well too, do you feel the NLC is being fair with that demand, asking the federal government to first revert to the oil pump price before they can attend any negotiation at all?
Well, that's a condition that the NLC is given. And in any negotiation, you don't always win all.
Okay.
And now the two of them should sit down together and talk. They should converse. The government should should talk to people that really matter within their rank, within the rank of NLC, to see how they can come down. Because reversing to the pump price will mean a lot. I think what they should do, they haven't committed any crime, saying this is a condition upon which we will say that. That's they have the right to do that. They are just saying that. So it is now whether government will accede to that or not. But I think they should consider the welfare of the people. When you go out now and you look out on the street, when you look on the street, you discover that there are less vehicles on the street now.
Definitely.
It's as if we are having issues, it's as if we are having problems and all that. The free, the road are freer. And if care is not, it's good. There is no way it will not affect our economy. Because the microeconomy, majority of the microeconomies depend on moving from one place to another. So it's definitely going to affect. But I think, they should be soft. They can give their condition, but they should not be. I don't think they need to be too adamant and say no, we are not going to shake ground. I think the two of them should beat some level of compromise, a little to the left, a little to the right, and then come up with something that will be beneficial to the generality of the people.
Okay. Well, Dr. my comrade, let's move away from the fuel subsidy this morning and let's talk about a piece of Edo State this morning. Remember last week it was a battle of shutting down the car, the motor parks, and a search of auxiliary. Now we have a new PMS leader, and now this parks have been opened. Is this where it's all ends? And what should also be put in place, most especially the internal wrangling, most especially that will always come up between PMS and sometimes you have the NURTW. As Governor Seyi Makinde done the right thing in selecting or appointing a new PMS leader very early.
Yeah, I think the governor is doing. I think the governor has a clean heart in this aspect. The creation of the PMS is an innovation that deserves some level of accolade. But then there is something that has to be done. It must be divorced from the NURTW. It must be divorced. It must be something, because it's a new creation. NURTW have been there, and coming up with the park management system is a new innovation that should stand on its own. Now, it cannot operate without the involvement of the NURTW. Yes, that we know. But their involvement must not be given a free ride, such that NURTW will now determine what happens there. Will now determine what PMS does. No, it's because the moment you allow that, you allow NURTW to have an upper hand there, that means the system will be corrupted. Now, it will revert to, it will then copy and then mimic what we get, what we have with the operation of the NURTW. And the PMS is supposed to be an holistic innovation. So I think it should be like that. What the governor is trying to do now is say, okay, from this sector, let's bring some people together so that they will form this and then work together and for the betterment of the association. But then it's not going to be easy because NURTW, the way they do their changeover of administration and all that. Yeah, it's always with brigandage and all that. And the PMS is such that you bring people that has a higher level of civility and all that. And if they are not diverse, if they are not separated from NURTW, they will get corrupted, and the kind of problem we are having, we will continue to have. Now, it should be a way that, okay, we are bringing these people in, you have a tenure of 2 years or 3 years or whatever, and then it should be controlled by government. It should not be left to the NURTW. Because if it is left, it won't be. The sanity that the government is trying to bring into it will never come. But I think he has done the right thing I mean, you should have done. I think he's doing it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Comrade Olu Omotosho, for joining us this morning and shedding light on some of the headlines this morning. And, well, let's also be hopeful that NLC, the TUC, the federal government also will surely have a roundtable talk before the Wednesday proposed strike.
And reach a compromise.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, just listen to Comrade Olu Omotosho there and, making sure, clearing it that these people still need to sit together.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't start a new administration with
rancor.
Yes. And, I was also reading a particular story here. Someone allude to NLC, don't politicize fuel subsidy removal. And, you look at what happened during the campaign period. You look at what happened during the election period. Some already saying that the Labour Party is also connected to the Nigerian Labour Congress, and also this is just a way to frustrate the new government. And if this is the way, don't you think we maybe we are not seeing what some people are seeing here? Okay, but let's also see some comments here this morning. FG to consider TUC's demand set up committee to review minimum wage. Now, TJ2 on Twitter says, what will happen if local refinery reduce the price of fuel in the future? That's in the future. How many years? In how many years' time? Okay, set up committee for this, set up committee for that. Okay, now Abe at Abiodun on Twitter says, minimum wage increment doesn't solve the economy problems, honestly, because everything else will rise up as well.
Definitely.
The FG intelligent team members to work on how to tackle poverty in the country, and announcing that subsidy removal shows otherwise. Okay, at Akinola Kinlolu says there should be demand of constant electricity, market control board, security and productivity of all our refineries. More money in circulation will bring higher price in goods and commodity. Okay, Mr. Dorn on Twitter says civil servants, political office holders, lawmakers, central bank and NPCL security agencies, universities, etc. must be made to earn what is realistic and sustainable, no matter the sector. This is what the NLC should be fighting for, not minimum wage review or enhancement. So if we look at this and, look at the minimum wage fighting for, but, we should also look at if the federal government is going to accept this. Do you think the Labour will also accept the amount that TUC has brought forward? And will the governors of states, approve this? Yes, be able to pay up. Maybe, the subsidy removal, that will also be shared, across board with, to states to also add up to the minimum wage. But what of the monies owed by outgone government? Remember, that of Benue State, the billions on ground. That of Kano State, the money on ground. Except the states where you have returning governors, But now, with what is going on now, let's wait, put our hands, let's be positive, and let's also believe that the federal government, NLC, TUC, will have a fruitful negotiation.
Yeah.
This is 9:14. We have to, switch gears this morning as we bring in Dr. Victory Richard, right? For Solutions Clinic. We'll make a return tomorrow on the AM update by 8 o'clock. We kick off Sports Show.
Definitely.
My name is Oladapo Okunubi.
And my name is Ade Damala Lafenwa. Thank you very much for always making us your number one. Good morning.
Sir, do you mind if I interview you quickly?
No. I don't get time.
Just a quick one, sir. If you get 1 million naira right now, what would you?
You say? First of all, I go change this my phone. After that, I will come buy correct bars. You understand? Then I'll come work well. Come block my landlord office in my status. God declare for the boys there. Levels all live with that.
Take off on a millionaire level and do as you like with the FCMB Millionaire Promo Season 9 by increasing your savings account balance by 10,000 naira and keeping it for 30 days in your FCMB account. And if you are a new customer, deposit 10,000 naira into your account and keep it for 30 days. And you could be one of the winners of ₦1 million and other amazing cash rewards. Approved by NLRC and FCCPC. FCMB, My Bank and I.
Whenever I tell people I'm a full-time master student and a content creator, they go, huh? How are you able to do both all at once? You be witch? No be juju. Na MTN 5G. Ever since 5G came into my life, I've been on cloud 9. I get to take my classes online in real time and upload my videos before you say Jack Robinson. Even Babe isn't left out. Our long distance is waxing strong.
Hello, babe. Can you hear me? Your video is frozen again.
We don't do that here, because life is a breeze.
Experience the wonders of MTN 5G. Hyper-fast internet connection with no buffering, zero lag, and quality data capabilities like never seen before. No pichuju, not MTN 5G. Now available on iPhone. MTN. What are we doing today?
.9 Solutions FM, your soul-lifting radio station.
Keep it 93.9.
Radio is all about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
Everything you put your hand go walk, your name go open doors, you self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go walk, your name go open doors, you self go be a boss. Amen, amen. Every hustler getting paid, where the hustle go come to pay, your own in no go take. Amen. If you don't find work, do your own. God self go do his own. And flesh go cover bone. Amen. Amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up, your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Sister where one man receives, until where they find begin. One day you go born twins. Amen. Amen. Then that way don't losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. Watch and see it no go take. If you believe it, say amen. No. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Long life go follow you. Strangers go favor you. Great men go honor you. Amen. Amen. One day you go sign the check. Oh. You self go drive that Benz. Oh. This life go still make sense. Oh. Amen. Your children go make you proud. Oh. Bad people no go pull you down. No. One day you go run this town. Oh. Amen. Amen. You self go spray me money. Baby go call you honey. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. Dangote go be your friend. Otedola go be your friend. Adenuga go be your guy. Amen. Amen. Elubelu go be your guy. Abdusamad go be my guy. Rabbi, you go be my guy. Amen. Amen. Your life no go end in shame. Your business go bring you gain. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Amen.
Check your systems are on.
Keep it 93.9.
Hi, my name is Lydia Kioma and I'm a formulator. Ways to have a great skin. First, know your skin type. When you know your skin type, you'll know the kind of products to use. Then build a routine. It's important you build a routine. By that, I mean cleanse your skin, moisturize, exfoliate, and protect your skin. And lastly, drink water. People say drink water and mind your business, but really, you have to drink water so your skin is hydrated. That way, you have a great skin. Keep listening to Solutions Clinic on 93.9 Solutions FM. Thank you.
Hello, listeners. Good morning. How have you been? I hope you are having a good day so far. The weather has been cold in the past few days, so you need to stay warm. Get your cardigan, get your sweaters and mufflers and everything you need. Stay healthy, stay warm. That makes blood flow through your organs properly, so you can have a healthy life. My name is Dr. Chukuma Okoli. Keep listening to Solutions Clinic on Solutions 93.9 FM. Cheers.
It's a beautiful Monday morning right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. Exactly 23 minutes gone past 9, and I'm delighted to be back on your stereo. Good morning, IB City. Hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to Solutions Clinic, where we get to talk about everything and anything health. Like I would always say, a healthy life is your ticket to a wealthy life. Welcome to the show. My name is Vic Riches. So this morning we're going to be talking about a conversation we can never exhaust, right? Something that I've addressed on the show before, and this morning I'll be having, this discussion in a different angle. So as of January the 5th, 2023, psychiatrists celebrated in Nigeria as the Mental Health Bill was signed into law by the former president. The Mental Health Act of 2021 replaced the Lunacy Act of 1958. The law establishes human rights protection for those dealing with mental health conditions such as discrimination in housing, employment, medical and other social services. According to the Psychiatric Association of Nigeria, 30% of Nigerians have one form of mental challenge or the other, and only 10% of whom are accessing care in that regard. My guest this morning is Shakirat Okewale. She's an award-winning health enthusiast, certified and qualified with a master in public health, and presently on her counselorship study in the United Kingdom. Good morning to you, Shakira, and it's great to have you join me this morning.
Good morning, Vic. It's my pleasure to be here this morning.
Thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm amazing. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Amazing.
All right, so let's begin the conversation with, this act that was recently signed into law by the former president in January. First of all, how does that make you feel as one who is an advocate for mental health?
I mean, it's amazing because I usually say that before we go into resolving any issues at all, it's always great to be aware of what's going on around us. And to now have the national backing and national support is something that gladdens my heart, because I can tell that the new statistic is showing high numbers of suicide, depression, and all other mental health related issues. So this is really big, and I think I like the fact that it's nationally supported.
Absolutely, yes. We must say well done to the federal government, and we hope to see more development around mental health advocacy in Nigeria, because I mean, this is one illness that has plagued us, and we really do not pay attention to it. You've mentioned a couple of cases relating to mental health, like suicide, depression, and we're going to be talking about all of that this morning. And let me kick off my conversation with your own personal experience. I can see that you have dealt with general anxiety disorder, GAG, for over 30 years. Share a little bit of that experience. How did you deal with it for 30 years? So much so that you came out of it, and right now you want to help others become better.
Thank you, Vic. It's an amazing story and it's an amazing journey, and I love to share it because in sharing my story, I find that a lot of people are able to connect with it, and they are also able to resonate with it. By so doing, they are happy to also, share the story for people to know that they are not alone, and the journey is just not for them alone to bear. I'll tell you that when I wanted to write my SSC exam back home in Nigeria, I was just 16 years. I had the panic attack a few nights to my exam, and it came like as if I had a heart attack, and I was palpitating. I had so many ugly symptoms that was really strange. It was a night that I can't forget. And the next day I was rushed into the clinic. And when I got to the hospital, they would do the normal medical checks and all that. And because they couldn't really place anything medically wrong with me, they would tell me, I was fine, and they couldn't really place any diagnosis. It was my work time. So I would go because I had to be in the hospital in and out. And then I would go from the hospital to write my exams. It was really bad because I became really emaciated. I couldn't sleep. It got me into insomnia. And one of the very crazy symptoms that happened to me then was the fact that I was always scared of everything. I was scared to go out. I was scared to sleep. I was scared to eat. I was scared to be with people. Going out, they call that agoraphobia. All of this, I didn't know that it was mental health or whatever then. When you're sick, of course, you would visit the clinic to tell you this is your diagnosis and this is what they want to treat you for. But for my case, there wasn't no diagnosis at all. It then meant that I was, visiting different hospitals. It got really bad that I was admitted in UCA, carried out all tests. My blood pressure was really high. It was so high. And I mean, I was just 16 then. So what would I be thinking about? So fast forward to another 15 after. Then I turned 30. And then I'd already started living in the UK. So I had another outburst, which was, the symptoms were similar. And I did remember then that, the very first one that happened around the time I was writing my YX, the doctors had told me that I was fine, and then I should, go back home and maybe seek spiritual help. That's one thing we do in Africa. Yes. If you've done or tried everything medical, and you can't place hands on what's wrong with they tell you to go and deal with it the spiritual way. So yes, we did that as well. I was taken to different pastors, different clerics, fathers, and all that, who were praying here and there so that I would become normal. And when I mean normal, so that I could eat normally again, I could sleep normally again, I could gain some weight, because I was so emaciated. Back then in school, my friends had said maybe I had caught HIV/AIDS, and it was traumatic to see. I was an active girl, and it was so traumatic to just see how your life can just come to a what's the word to use now? It just came to a low, like like the life was about to end. So it was a terrible time. I didn't like it. I didn't want anyone to go through that. But as at then, like I said, I didn't know what was wrong with me. Of course, they said seek spiritual help. We did that. Go and pray. We did that. Go and they said several things which we tried. Start multivitamin. We did all of that. But I didn't see any solution. I didn't really see any difference as much that year. And so what really got me out of it was, okay, I finished my exams, and I was always home alone, which really got it worse because my parents they would have gone to work. My brothers were in the uni. My brother and my sister rather were in the uni. My younger brother was also in the hostel. So it meant that I was also always alone in the house. And my mom had walked up to me to tell me that it would be good if I can, take up something that would keep me busy. And I thought of something to take up. And I took fashion school as one thing that I wanted to, fashion designing as one thing I wanted to learn then to keep me busy. Yeah. And I went to, the fashion school. So I started doing that, and I realized that, I started getting better gradually. I could sleep 6 hours straight. It started getting better. I could eat. My appetite improved. And the detachment had gone. I started to talk to people again. I started to relate to people again. So I think that was what it ended that year.
For you, it was a distraction. Oh, okay.
It was. I thought I was fine then, not until 15 years after I had another serious outburst. And this one was really serious because I would call the ambulance from the house. I was already in the United Kingdom, which you had an access to call the ambulance when you feel uneasy or some type of way. So I would call the ambulance over and over. And when they'd come, they'd check me, my blood pressure, check everything. And they'd tell me, everything seems normal. It's just your blood pressure that is on the rise now. So they'll take me into the hospital, do some medical checks and all that. And that kept also going on. And it got really bad that, again, I was insomniac. I couldn't sleep any longer. So the symptoms were just the same, but I couldn't place it. And I was worried that what could be wrong. Back home, I'd been labeled. They told me that I was under spiritual attack. So when you've been labeled like that back home, it could influence the way you're deciding, you're thinking, you're acting. So when this thing came back again, I said, oh my God, who have I offended that hasn't forgiven me since that year? 15 years ago. So it was quite funny. It was quite, but it's fine now. We're talking about it, Vic, because, I'd gone through it, I'd recovered. It was an ugly space I didn't want anyone to be. Because I imagine people would be sleeping. My family members are sleeping and I couldn't sleep. I would have headache. I'd be tired. I couldn't think. It got worse that I had to, they told me again in the hospital here in the United Kingdom that I'm fine. I needed to just rest and all that. And, it didn't get better. I had to fly back home again to seek the same spiritual help. Pastors, I repeated that same cycle again. And nothing really changed. So it was my bad. My dad had to walk me into a psychiatric home. Back home in Nigeria, I was taken into the psychiatric home. The popular Professor Lashibi in Ibadan, who I think he's really good with that thing. And it was, when he went through my case and heard how everything had been through, and he heard all of my symptoms, he was the one who was able to actually, place a name on what was wrong with me. And he said, you're suffering from general anxiety disorder. And Vic, the moment I heard the name general anxiety disorder, oh my God, I've gone through public health as a course, as my mastery back in UI. Yeah. And we've done it. We have done a lot of things with global health. We have done a lot of things with mental health, but I didn't take it serious. We all don't take it serious back home. And, when the doctor told me that it was general anxiety disorder, now I know what was wrong. At least I had a name to what was wrong with me. At least I know what to do now. At least I know the direction to which I wanted to direct my healing and my treatment. And so they placed me under therapy, and I started to feel better. But it still didn't. The healing or the recovery was quite slow. So I had to come back to the UK. I'd left my family to travel back home to Nigeria to seek healing. I had come back to the UK. They're giving me some medications, all those funny ones that they would give to relax you and all that. Yeah. I didn't like the effect. Whenever I'm done with the medication, it would make me sleep for some time. But when I come back, I didn't like the effect. When I wake up, I would feel blank, as if my brain wasn't inside my body again. I couldn't think. I couldn't process anything. So I said to myself, I was going to withdraw this thing. So I withdrew it, and it got worse. And I was agoraphobic. I couldn't go out again. Because I tell myself, I usually tell myself that time, I told myself that if I go out, I would, there's danger outside. There is danger if I talk to you. Wow. There is danger if I relate to you. And all of those things are happening in your mind. In your mind is happening. You're telling yourself. So it got really worse that, I was depressed. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't be there for my family. And this is what I usually feel. I lost my sexual libido. I couldn't be a woman again for my husband. I couldn't be a good mother again for my children. My husband did all of the mothering for them. I've gone. I was as if I was a walking corpse. Is that the word they use? Wow. Because I told myself that I'm going to pass on soon. I don't matter. I'm going to die soon. Everything is ending soon. I participated in my own funeral. And imagine how I was buried, and imagine how people were talking about, such a useless life that she lived, such a vain life that she lived, all of those ugly things. I didn't want to talk to people. I would lock myself up in the room for long. I just wanted to be alone. I just wanted to die. I just felt miserable and all of those ugly things. So it's not a good space to be. So because I had a name to my record. Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to, because of time, how were you now able to pull out of it? Because the picture you've painted, honestly, I'm even scared for you. Just thinking about it, I can't even imagine or understand what it was for you being in that kind of situation, being that you also had responsibility, you had family, you had a husband, you had turned a mother. So there's a lot of expectations from you, but you were not able to meet all of these expectations. How did your healing process come about?
Okay, remember that I mentioned that I've been told I'm suffering from general anxiety disorder. So I started to research it on my own. And during the course of my research, I would find more scary things, because you know how you can find things on internet. Yeah, you would find more scary things. Everything they would tell me to try, as simple as breathing exercise. I couldn't try so many of these things. There was a night I said I was going to go end it all, because everyone would be sleeping and I couldn't sleep. Wow. So it got worse that I was scared to sleep in our room. My husband and I were sleeping in the couch in the living room, and it would grip me so tightly, because he knows that when I manage to catch some sleep and I have that cuddle, it could keep me to sleep for quite a while. But once I jump out of that sleep, I'm not going to get sleep till the next morning. Wow. And when I don't get sleep till the next morning, I will be ranting, I will be tired, I'll feel funny. So there was this night, we had planned that, let's try to sleep in the bedroom tonight. And we tried it, and I felt like I slept for like a few minutes, and I jumped out of sleep again. I got out of bed, and I told my husband that tonight I would try and sleep all night. And I convinced him, and he also tried to encourage me. But that night I jumped out of bed again quickly, and he had slept off. So I tried to, I said I was going to end it all. If I couldn't sleep and I'm feeling this way, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, let me just go and find peace in death. So I said, okay, let me just go downstairs, grab a very sharp knife, and just end it all. As I got out of the room, I was sneaking out of the room, and something just woke my husband up, and he asked me again, where are you going? Come and relax. Nobody can understand this thing. It felt funny to them, but why can't you sleep? It's just for you to close your eyes and sleep. It is more than that, Vic. It is more than that. The gift of sleeping alone is a gift that you shouldn't even underemphasize. So I got out of the room that day. I wanted to go anywhere, and he called me back and said, come and sleep. Where are you going? And I had to lie to him that I was going into the mosque. I wanted to go and pray. And because I said that to him, I did that action. I went into the mosque. I got my Quran. I prayed. And as I was praying, something spoke to my mind that, you know what? You will overcome this. You will overcome. And I went back to the room. I slept. And a couple of days after, I can't remember, maybe a day or two or three or so, I found somebody that was healing people around general anxiety disorder. And I joined this program. And to be honest, in such a short time, I walked out of anxiety. The things they taught me were really simple methods, simple recovery methods, like exercising, eating well, sleeping well. And then because I couldn't sleep in the beginning, I had to go back to the exercise, and I started taking it serious. And things started to shift. I started to structure my day. They taught me quite a lot of things. We had quite a lot of things to go through, but I started to get the lessons, and I started to stick to it. I started to do those things, and I started to see results. So I can tell you that, it was a process, but the healing came gradually. And yes, I started to see results. I started to feel alive again. And I said, you know what, if I walk out of this, I will help people get the same thing done. so they can live a great and happy life, because health indeed is wealth.
This is such a beautiful story, and I'm so excited for your journey. I'm grateful that you've become so audacious to want to share this with people, because I know this is a vulnerable part of your life, but you're also open to help people who are dealing with this problem. And it brings me to my next question. But before that, we're streaming live on Facebook. You're listening to Solutions Clinic on Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Vic Riches, and I'm talking to Shakirat Okewale. She's talking about her experiences dealing with mental health illnesses, and for all is what, and that's why I'm really excited about this new bill that's been signed into law, because even the previous name, lunacy, already labels people dealing with mental health as mad people. But now you're making it a mental health illness. So it's broad, just like you've mentioned. If not that we had this conversation, I never knew a thing such as general anxiety disorder was a thing or an illness. That's the truth. I never knew. Just as recently, I got the knowledge that OCD, that people thought was a flex, is actually a mental illness. And it brings me to the several forms of mental illnesses that we don't see. Just like yours now. It's not something that's very common, but you dealt with it. So much so that you had to inquire and find out a name of this illness. What are some of these mental illnesses that we're not so aware of, or we don't pay attention to, but they do exist?
Well, like I said, I didn't know it was general anxiety disorder until the psychiatrist mentioned it to me, and I went to research it. So for every problem in life, it starts with, for everything in life, it starts with you identifying what the problem is, establishing the problem. Once you know that these are the problems, you then be able to take the right actions towards remediating it. Like I told you, I'd gone through, public health, and we had done a thing about mental health. But I didn't know it. I didn't take it serious until I had to go through it. And one of the things I learned in life is things happen to us because we need to get the lesson, and we need to use the lesson to help ourselves and help others. So this has come to help me, learn more about it. And that was when I also knew that, it's more than general anxiety disorder. General anxiety disorder is stress. When you're stressed about a lot of things, you're anxious, from the word anxiety. Anxiety is you being anxious. You've been thinking about the future and worried about the future, worried about what wants to happen in the next minute, in the next hour, or in the future, in the near future to come. So general anxiety disorder can emanate into depression. Because imagine we're talking now, and I'm believing that, tomorrow is not certain. Who will look after my children? Who will look after my family, my investment? And I start to worry. It's a stressor. I begin to worry because the more you think about negative things in your mind, there are some actions or reactions that will begin to happen in your body. For instance, you can tremble, you can begin to shake. That, oh my God. If you think about death now, some people think about death and they're really worried. Some people think about, I want to go out there, step out there and begin to use my talent to shine. But then they start to feel fearful. Like, will people not criticize me? Will people not, shut me out of it? So the more you think about things, the more your body reacts to it. So it's a loop. It's from your thought process to the way your body is not going to react, to the way you're not going to take that. It's a thought process. You think, you act, you behave. Do you understand? So if a general anxiety disorder will now lead to depression if you're worried too much and you're not able to manage your stress. So let me start by saying that general anxiety disorder usually comes from a space of stress. You're stressed by work, you're stressed by unemployment, you're stressed by losing a loved one, you're stressed by criticism from people around, you're stressed by, it's your stress. And I can tell you, Vic, the same person who has lost a child and the same person who has lost a job are going through the same chemical reactions in their body, which is just the adrenaline that gets produced in your body. It's different condition on the exterior, but internal experience is the same. So for a person who is stressed about money isn't coming in from my business, or another person who is stressed about I don't have a job, I don't have a husband, my marriage is not glad, this and that. We all are having those exterior problems, naming it different things, but the experience within is the same.
Wow.
It's the same. That's why mental health is the same for everybody. If you don't know how to structure your mind and manage your mentally, your well-being is going to be chastised. And when that is chaotic, you can't mean well for yourself and you can't do well for yourself. And if you don't have it, you can't pour it. You can't be a better parent to your children. You can't be a better wife to your husband. You can't be a better boss in your workplace. So Everyone has to hear about this. Everyone has to know how to manage this. Because when you're depressed again and you're not able to get yourself outside of depression, you begin to become suicidal, like you're frustrated, like you want to end it, like you're tired, like you feel like there's no solution. So there are a lot of mental health disorder out there, but the most popular one these days is depression. And I can tell you depression usually comes from general anxiety disorder, which people are not really, so much aware about.
This is such a revelation. We'll get back to more questions, of course. You are open to also send in your questions and messages if you may. You can send it via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904 422 2939. 0904 422 2939. This is Solutions Clinic right here on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. I have a few commercials for you. I'll be back. Stick around. My name is Vic Riches.
Hello, sir. Do you mind if I interview you quickly?
No. I don't get
Just
time.
a quick one, sir. If you get 1 million naira right now, what would you...
You said? First of all, I go change this my phone. After that, I will come buy red bars, you understand? Then I'll come work well. Come block my landlord main office, see my status. God declare for the boys there. Levels all land with that.
Take off on a millionaire level and do as you like with the FCMB Millionaire Promo Season 9 by increasing your savings account balance by 10,000 naira and keeping it for 30 days in your FCMB account. And if you are a new customer, deposit 10,000 naira into your account and keep it for 30 days. And you could be one of the winners of ₦1 million and other amazing cash rewards. Approved by NLRC and FCCPC. FCMB, my bank and I.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge, just use Momo. You wan pay for market where you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account o. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account or inside your Momo account to make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
The World Health Organization says that 1 in 4 people are at risk of a mental health problem. With these statistics, it's important to take care of your mental health because your mental health is also as important as your physical health. You are not alone. Seek help. Your mental health matters. My name is Choma Fakuride. I'm a wellness consultant and founder of Olama Cares Foundation. Keep listening to Solutions Clinic on Solutions 939 FM.
Alright, you're still tuned into the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. We're 12 minutes to the top of the hour, and we've been having a conversation on mental health. Of course, I'm joined in the studio virtually with Shakirat Okewale. She's an award-winning mental health enthusiast and a qualified public health educator as well. So we're talking about mental health this morning, and she's been able to address a couple of issues, particularly from her own personal experience dealing with general anxiety disorder. And I want to talk about stigmatization right now, because I know it's a major factor that stops people from really opening up about their mental health cases. I believe you're still joined with me.
Yes, I am here.
Okay, great to have you once again. All right, so I want to talk about stigmatization. I want to believe that one of the reasons people don't really open up about their mental illnesses is because they don't want to be labeled or stigmatized by others. From the story you've shared, it looks as though you had great support system from family, friends, people who wanted to see you become better and heal. So talk to us about the importance of supportive system and the the detriment that stigmatization brings to one's mental health?
To be honest, I don't know what to use to qualify the word, much more than what you've said about support, especially from family. The people who are closest the most to you are those who would, your healing starts from knowing that you're not alone. And sometimes your blood family, your people who you're related by blood are not the only families that you need to have. Sometimes you're related with people who are just, friends, and they become family.
Absolutely.
So the support system from people, we need ourselves. We need ourselves. How did I begin to also share this story? I had to, when I broke free from fear, when I went through the journey of mental health, I went to learn more about it. I went to also I discovered that a lot of people are keeping quiet because they're feeling that they're going to be stigmatized, victimized, chastised. And I can tell you that it's a really difficult step to step out and talk to people about how you're feeling. However, there are so many organizations out there these days that you can walk up to. And I usually tell people that it's okay for you to be independent, but you don't want to be alone. Some people feel like, they'll figure it out. I'll go through it. I'll be fine. It's okay for you to feel independent, but it's not okay for you to be alone. So you must always have one person at least that you can talk to. Do you think about how you feel when you just vent out or when you just release those things in your mind? You feel so relieved and you feel like, like you already got a solution. So the moment you share it already, they say a problem shared is half solved. That you share it already, you are decluttering your head from so much thought. You are decluttering your mind from keeping and holding so much to yourself. Bottling things up alone is the thing that makes this mental illness worse. It's the thing that makes bottling things up, holding it onto yourself all by yourself, going through it all by yourself is what will make this thing worse. So I learned this on the journey as well of my recovery. And then I started to speak out more. I can tell you this is such a cathartic thing. It's releasing, it's healing. It makes you happy and you feel so light. So I just want to encourage people out there that speak up as much as possible. You don't need to come out and tell the world like I am. I am already in the stage where I'm in a place where I don't care about what people say or what you feel about me. You don't have to love me. I have found my strength. I speak anywhere, anyhow. I don't care about judgment, but there's some people that cannot go through criticism and they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be stigmatized. It's okay, but find somebody, just one person that you can talk to. And I also always say this, that if you are alone, you are in a place where you don't have one person to talk to, then you should also reorganize your circle. Because I don't know how you will be, and you won't have one person that you can talk to. You need to reorganize that circle. You've got a toxic circle around you that you need to reorganize.
That's a powerful one to take home. If you don't have one person that you can rely on, then it means you don't have anybody at all. That's a great take home this morning. Finally, let's talk about the men. It's very common to see women who are very expressive. As a matter of fact, all the guests I've had on my show to discuss mental health, they've all been women. Rarely would you see men who are very open to being vulnerable. And it's said that the statistics of men dealing with mental health illnesses are even more than that of women. Yesterday, I watched a movie. It's called Sister. It's a new Nollywood film. And, the movie stirred up a lot of emotions in me. I cried. And I put out on my status that it's been a minute that I saw a Nollywood film that would make me, tear up this way. And I got comments from several guys on my, page saying, why would a man be crying? And I didn't just cry, I even had to put it out on my WhatsApp status that a movie made me cry. And I asked, some of these friends of mine or acquaintances that why shouldn't I cry? Why shouldn't I express my emotions the way I would want to? And they said to me that it's only weak men that cry. And it reminded it just brought back the several analogies of people dealing with mental health, and men are told to shut up because if they express themselves they'll be seen as weak men. So I mean, what do you have to say in that regard for men particularly who keep holding how they feel?
It's so cliche for us to think that men don't have to express, they don't have to talk, and that's why they're going through many problems because they are bottling things up. I've told you, I've said it before that the more you release, the more you speak up, the more you can feel calm, the more you can release. Research has also shown that the more you pour those things out of your mind, the more you can take up brand new opportunities into your life.
Absolutely.
So if you're holding on the things that you know alone and you're just dealing with it alone, you're going to be alone. Even let's go biblical or Quranic now. It's all there in the Holy Book that you ask and you get help. You ask not, you get help not. So if you ask, you will get help. People are not asking, the men are not putting their foot forward. They're worried because they don't want to be labeled. But I like the way you're allowing you to go through your emotions. You shouldn't hide your emotions. You should release. When you're joyful, show it, but show it in moderation. When you're fearful, show it and show it in moderation. So, but men need to speak up. They're suffering because they're not speaking up. I mean, it's just very simple. And it's just so cliche, like I said, it's just so everyone is saying men should be strong. In vulnerability, there is power in it.
Absolutely.
But we don't know that. There's so much power in vulnerability. The more you share your story, in fact, we should put an intention behind sharing your story. The intention behind every action that you take in life is the power that you need. The intention behind us having this radio tour is because we want to help people. We want to help them hear more about this and make them feel like they're not alone and that there is help out there. So when you think about it from the angle of the intention behind you sharing your story, as especially being that you want to help others, is actually a big one. So I don't see any reason. Like I tell you, everyone and anyone can feel so small and feel so worried about sharing their story. It's not something easy to do, but you've got to do it anyway. Because you have a great intention behind it. And
that's one of the ways to
So I'm encouraging all men to speak up more. People need to hear it. Other men need to know. It's what we've configured our mind to think that men are weak when they speak up. Or they're weak when they show their emotion. No, it's not. It's not the truth. The more vulnerable you can be as an individual, as a human, the more powerful you get. Because you're able to help more people out there.
This is so inspiring. Thank you so much, Shakira Tokiwali, for being with us this morning. I've learned quite a few things from your experience. And, I'm also getting courage and audacity to forge more and speak about how I feel and express more because I know it's a major route to my healing. Thank you also for sharing your story with the world.
You're welcome. It was amazing to join you today, and I enjoyed my time.
I absolutely did. We'll definitely look forward to more sessions like this. All right, it's a wrap on Solutions Clinic this morning. I'll be back next week, Monday, for yet another interesting conversation on health. I'll leave you with this song, Johnny Drill. How are you, my friend? Because indeed, I'm concerned about your welfare. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Sometimes it be like say, nobody sends you. That's when I did for you, my friend. I did no vex for me. Say I never call you since, but I hope that you are well. I hope you're my caretaker. Every day I pray for you. Make you Baba, God bless you. I never forget you. I go forget you. See my show.